I tell you, thinking about it, there's two groups of people that spring immediately to mind. Those are, of course, the folks that built the jet back in St. Louis, and then the group represented by those great folks in front of us who take care of it and fly it yet today. When I think about those times, I got to remember that this is the finest fighter the free world produced, and that was true for at least 2 decades, until, of course, the advent of the F-15, and then some might say the F-18 or the F-16. But the truth is, it was an amazing accomplishment, and they built 5,195 in the course of that time. The first one was rolled out in May of 1958. To give you
Present! Hard! Order! Order! Hard!
Team, halt. Present, halt.
Dash 561, under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 38-101, by order of Lieutenant General Brett M. Dula, Commander, Air Combat Command. The 561st Fighter Squadron is inactivated effective 26 March 1996.
Phantom drivers past and present. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you here this day. What a gorgeous day. Thanks for coming to help us celebrate a very special moment in the history of the Air Force. A special welcome to all you previous 561st Black Knights who've come from far and wide to join us for the past several days. Today we once again make history here at Nellis as we fold up the proud flag of the 561st Fighter Squadron. As we pack up these remaining mementos in the archives, prepare to ship them off, and launch these Weasels on their last operational mission, it's important that we take a couple of minutes to remember this squadron's proud and cherished past. A squadron known for service, sacrifice, and achievement during 3 different wars. The squadron was originally activated as a B-17 heavy bombardment squadron on December 24, 1942, Boise, Idaho. After moving to 4 different stateside locations, the squadron moved to England, where they soon began flying combat missions over Central Europe. They fought, they won, they died, they came home to honor and glory. After the war, the squadron returned to the States and underwent its first inactivation. But this inactivation was short-lived. The squadron was reactivated in 1947 as the 561st Bombardment Squadron and placed in the active reserves. During what seemed like constant inactivations and reactivations, moves and aircraft changes, the squadron found itself in a new role of the F-105 Wild Weasel over North Vietnam during Linebacker 2. During this period, the Black Knights logged 40 combat missions and sorties over Hanoi during the 12 Days of Christmas campaign designed to end the Vietnam War. In 1991, the squadron again flew combat missions in support of Operation Desert Storm, this time in the old F-4G Phantom. The squadron earned 2 more campaign streamers for the defense of Saudi Arabia and the liberation of Kuwait. On February 1st, 1993, the Black Knights were again recalled to active duty here at Nellis in the Phantom. Just 8 months later, you achieved initial operational capability. 1 week after that, you deployed and once again began flying combat missions over southern Iraq. Since your activation here at Nellis, you've supported over 70,000 man-days of temporary duty in the desert and flown more than 3,000 post-war sorties. And to top that off, you supported the weapons school, the test group, red and green flags, long shot competitions, and the Gunsmoke Worldwide Gunnery Meet, while at the same time you were supporting 2 separate deployed locations halfway around the world. Throw in a quick no-notice mobilization for deployment to Bosnia, the highest quality Air Force assessment score yet for a fighter squadron and Air Combat Command, and most folks would think that this is indeed a busy, talented squadron. All of this took great leadership, from the newest assistant crew chief up through the commander. You have maintained these old Phantoms at a higher mission-capable rate than any other fighter in Air Combat Command. That, ladies and gentlemen, spells world-class teamwork. For Jim and Marilyn Yukon, You've been an outstanding leadership team during this past year. It was no easy task to lead the squadron through all you've been through, and you've done it with class. Thanks to both of you, and thanks to each and every leader in this squadron. And so as we look back at a few of the proud accomplishments of this great squadron over the years, this is not a time for sorrow and sadness. The Phantom is a grand old lady, but she's a tired warrior. She's served us well for over 30 years, and we'll miss old Double Ugly. But it's time to retire her now. It's time for the young to replace the old. The wild Weasel, however, is not dead and buried. He is merely transformed by technology into something we have yet to fully understand and appreciate, but we will. Each and every one of you Black Knights, past and present, should treasure your time in this great squadron as being part of an Air Force legend. This squadron fought in 3 different wars. It earned 10 combat streamers. It's been activated and inactivated 4 times during the last 54 years. And each of you Black Knights were history makers. You've shown the way for our Air Force, and indeed, for all the Air Forces of the free world. Now, I have no doubt that at some time in the not-too-distant future, this flag will once again be unfurled to lead the way for our Air Force. I don't know about you, but I plan to be here when that happens. Thank you, good luck, and Godspeed to each and every one of you.
As they prepare the aircraft for flight, Colonel Retired James J. Winters has a presentation for General Miller and will give a final warrior's recollection of the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom.
On my second tour back to Da Nang as a gunfighter, front seat by this time, some amazing experiences, but one mission definitely sticks out, and you'll understand. The night of the Sante raid, I was launched as a leader on a top-secret mission. Later to realize we were flying mid-cap to cover the events in Hanoi. In fact, we're flying at times 80 miles northeast of Hanoi. Quite an experience. 7 hours of flight time. My wingman deserves the big credit for hanging on that long. We were later to find out the reasons for the big fireworks display that night. Getting back, debriefing, and then going the next day, 3 more missions for a total of 12 hours of combat flying time in a 24-hour period. On one of those, though, I was selected to lead a flight at 12 to Dong Hoi, which, by the way, was the site of my original mission that I mentioned. And this time, the bad guys have been storing up fuel for us. And when we finished that day, we had the smoke rising to about 18,000 feet, which is a very rewarding experience. But after Da Nang, it was a quick hop back to Seymour Johnson for some extended TDYs to Southeast Asia Fighter Weapons School along the way. And I learned a couple things. And both of them are the fact that I'm still here today because of the efforts of those 2 groups of people that I mentioned. Incidentally, 3 times we landed single engine. I mentioned it's a risky business. It's also a serious business. Very important. We've got great guys doing it. The bad guys know that we're good at it. That's also great. But whenever you're concerned in the future about someone that you know flying fighters, and you're wondering about someone's father, someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's husband, I can assure you, and you'll consider this now, when you ask who's going to bring them home, you can say with confidence, McDonnell Douglas will. And now, as I ask General Miller to join me here, please, we have a little presentation, and I hope that the artist, who most of you know, Blake Morrison, is in the audience. He's one of ours. He's a fighter pilot. I didn't say former fighter pilot. Once you are one, you're always one. We picked him because we knew that he could properly depict and grab the essence of what it's all about. And you will see The airplane that he chose was 263, the Black Knights, because it was the top shooter during the Gulf War. 37 harms, 2 Mavericks, and a Shrike that helped put a stake in the heart of Iraq.
Take charge of your flights and dismiss them.